Good morning, everybody. I don't know why I didn't come in here with no blanket or nothing. I don't want to be hot. It's a little chilly. Good afternoon and morning. Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm good. Good morning. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, everybody. Miss Lisa Justice. Afternoon, everybody. Hold on. Because it's chilly, but I don't want to put on no whole nothing. Hello. Good afternoon from South Carolina. Hello, Miss Duncan. Everybody. How y'all doing? I've been up and I was gonna get on here and just like my kids do, they called me, she called me, my baby called me. And we was on the phone for an hour. It was supposed to be 10 minutes. It might have been longer than that. We're gonna see. Sorry, y'all. Hey. Good morning from Maryland. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all, this, not little. The closer I get to my birthday, the more achy I feel. I said, what is this? I just turned up like I was 25. And my body said exactly like you were 25. Now you pay for it for a week. Now you going to pay for it for a week. I've been soaking in this and salt and every damn thing. I said, this ain't funny to me. Hey, Alexis, this is not funny to me, honey. It is not funny. Hello. Why is this, y'all? Y'all know I'm gonna have to get this back right. I done moved it and trying to get this to do what it's supposed to. There we go. We're gonna try that. Girl Queen talking about you is not you better do what you know to do, girl, and quit playing. You about to be 44 years old, man. I'm grateful for it too though. All right. Ooh wee. Listen. You gonna learn today. Shut up. Oh, Daniel, be quiet. I ain't gonna tell you shut up. I was about to say, no. He gonna say you gonna learn today. Inhale and wheel. And my hair looking crazy. I'm gonna give me some of them hair things. I already said that's what I'm gonna do. So with that, um, I'm about to be 48. Everything hurts. Come on, I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. Jesus Christ is Lord. He is. Uh-huh. So I want to ask y'all a question. Queen, this question might not be open to you. I don't know if this question is open to you, Queen. So, good morning, Toy. Auntie. I don't know if this open to y'all cousin. Okay, because who knows what she gonna say. So to everybody else but Queen, just right now. Um, do y'all think I be being mean to people? Queen, this is not for you. Like when that man came here, or woman, or whoever they was yesterday, and they said you need to be more modest. Okay. Good morning, Katrina. Right. You want the truth? I forgot. Mara, you in that queen clique. Never mind. Never mind. Mara, you don't get the answer either because you part of the tomato brigade. Mm-mm. And part of the ignorantly good fun thing. You said mean as fire. Toya said, I don't care. I'm going to say it. Listen, because this is the thing, family, okay? You said and is. No, you just giving them what they asked for. If they don't want none, they shouldn't start none. Right. Okay, now Queen. Look, because ain't no telling what she about to say. Yeah, I got to wait. I got to get her reply at the end. You know you don't want to hear it. Listen. Because I already know what she's going to say. Yes. Yes, and is. Sometimes a little bit, but I mean, we still here. We still love you. Everyone has their days and do. Oh, Justice. She said, yeah, sometimes you mean it, Auntie. I don't think that you're mean. I think you stand up for yourself, which is true. Right. You said, well, listen, you got the, see, you got to learn your people's nothing wrong with it. Everybody had no fire hot, so don't mess with, right. So I just want to say, because, and to my people that, might not identify with what, you know, the world says is your, um, how you should be or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know what I mean. Um, I don't ever want to come for y'all. I don't ever want y'all to think that y'all a pun in this community, because you are not. I care about everybody. What you do in your bedroom is your own thing. But sometimes, you know, because this world is so, you can believe whatever you want to believe, and you can portray to be whoever you want to portray to be, whether that's you or not. They feel like everybody care about what you got to say about how they look or how they whatever. And I hate to say it, but I am a natural woman. I was born this way. And so at certain ages in a natural woman's life, there are things that happen with her body. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'm not knocking nobody that wasn't born female or nothing like that. I'm just trying to tell you. But this world has been so conditioned to, if it ain't this and if it ain't nipped and tucked, everybody don't want to be cut on. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't. It took me a long time to get happy with just being myself. So if you don't like you, that's fine. If you don't want a chunky stomach or whatever, and that's on you. That's your life. You don't have to live in my body. But what you don't get to do is ask me about my reproductive organs like that's something that's up for discussion. If I am gaining weight, do you know if I have a medical condition that you might be reminding me of? Like, people don't think about the things that they say, and then they get mad when somebody chop they in the throat or try to embarrass them like they call themselves embarrassing you. And y'all see they just go on out quietly. Who noticed that they after certain questions that I ask them, they just get on out. They just leave on out. And they just quietly leave on out. We don't see that user 24630 or whatever their name is no more. Because people believe that because I sit behind this camera, I can't even find the tattoo that I put on my tummy 20 years ago. Oh, well, it's just lost. Toya! Ah, girl! She said, I can't even find a tattoo that I put on my stomach 20 years ago. It's just lost. I love that. You see, and you don't give a damn. It's just lost. I don't know. It's here somewhere. I forget I have them. Until somebody else remind me, I completely forget that I have all these dang tattoos, girl. That's why young babies don't do it to yourself. You want to, what, 15 years, you ain't even gonna remember you had the damn thing. Unless it's a sleeve. If it's anywhere where your eyes can't see it without the mirror, you're not even gonna remember you had it. Listen here, hilarious. Ooh. So understand, everything to everyone is not about the outside. And I'm gonna tell y'all why this is crazy. Sometimes my kids come in my class, sometimes they don't. Every time I get in here, I get an itchy throat. That is so crazy. I have not coughed or anything, and now my throat feels real, real scratchy. Excuse me. I've been all through this house all day, coming here, and now my it's gotta be these dang books. I forget the one behind my ear all the time. That's funny. My daughter has that same one. That's you and her. Child trying to get some more tests. I mean, get what you want, but this is the thing. I'm just saying there's gonna be so many things that you do in your 20s, 30s, 40s. And as you get older, you be like, I didn't even remember that. Or, excuse me, I do not dislike myself enough that I will disfigure myself. Does that make sense? Now, Auntie did get me together when I went down there because y'all know I was missing a tooth on the side. Thank you, Jesus. I'm not missing my side tooth no more. Okay, and they filled some gas for me. That was it. Other than that, and that's only because I'm on here every day. You hear me? But if not, it wouldn't have been a thing. You hear me? The rest of this is gonna be how it's gonna be, saggy boots and all, honey. If I gotta walk too much, I ain't gonna have it. If I got to work out, I probably ain't gonna get it. So if you don't like this nappy hair and all of that, you hear me? I don't care. And don't. You hear me? Yeah. Thank you. So with that, I don't want y'all to be so moved by what other people think of you. Because if you don't like you, what do it matter if everybody else do? What does it matter if everybody think you beautiful if you don't? When you take all that mess off and you go in your thing, you can't even look at yourself in the mirror. If you don't love you, it don't matter if everybody else do. Are you pleased when you put your clothes on? And not because of how everybody else look, but just you. Like, honey, stomach and all. I know y'all see my roll on the side when I have my little $5 dress on and still killed the game. And is and will. Oh, Granny, honey, was in there killing some of them young ladies. Usually they the one girl gonna walk past me and say, "You don't take out that and don't." Cause this dress was $5, girl. These shoes I didn't have for a year. You right. It sure don't, but that's why I did, cause it didn't take much. Ah! You hear me? I'm not worried about what you're doing over there in your clown life suit. So why you worried about what I got on? Tell me. Cause in all reality, you ain't got no friends. By the way, you came out the house looking like that. I know you don't. And if you do, they're not your real friends. Cause ain't no way in hell I would have let my homegirl go nowhere with me looking like that. But amen. You might want to be the star of the show or whatever it is. That part. What you didn't say? Hold on. Is that Jamar? What you said? Jamar, you said it. As long as you and Mr. Circle love it, that's all that matters, right? And so he might like a little pudgy stomach, and a little cottage cheese. You hear me? It ain't for everybody. I'm an acquired taste. Period. Y'all done seen that? There's plenty of people that have came through here. Listen, yeah, fine. Yeah, right. That part, like, right. When you're fat and can dress on a dime, I ain't got to have on all of the most expensive stuff to kill the game. And don't. I can have on $3 dress, and I promise you, folks is gonna remember me. And I'm not popping no collars. I'm trying to put something in our young people that you don't have to worry about what nobody else think about you. It don't matter if other people think you fly. I have not ever dressed for other people. Anything I put on my body is because I like it and it make me feel good. It don't matter if it make you feel good or not. It don't matter if you like looking at it. I can walk around like this all day if I want to. I'm about to let this stomach hang for all the days I had to suck it in. I'm tired. I didn't went through my hot mama phase. I'm the granny. When you a grandma, stuff can sag. It don't matter. If you don't like it, don't look at it. Which takes me to another thing about, listen, I'm just saying, and will, Jamar, and will, and will, and will. This is a natural stomach. It's the progression of what happens when you age. I'm going through menopause, so I ain't never had things on the side. They here, and I ain't changed out of nothing. I ain't quit eating different, walking more, nothing. I'm about to live. I done lived. I didn't learn. Because them same people that make you feel bad about yourself hate themselves. You hear me? Anybody that wants to comment on anything about me, that means you just don't like you. And you mad because with this stomach and stretch marks. And honey, I was in Atlanta showing every stretch mark I had on this stomach. Loud and proud, baby, and didn't even care. Showing my rolls in the back and everything. What you mean? You don't gotta like it. It's not for you. That's why God didn't give it to you. And that's gonna be with your calling, y'all. That's gonna be with everything. You hear me? Who remembers me telling y'all even about with all these books and all the reading and the studying that I was doing? People told me I was doing too much. It don't take all that. Guess what? It don't take all that for you because you're not gonna be teaching a lot of people in the world. It don't take all that for you because you really don't want to affect people's lives. You don't gotta study that deep because you're not gonna maybe be introduced to the people that I'm gonna be introduced to. So you're right. For you, it don't take that much, but for me, yeah, it take that and some extra. You understand me? Just think if I would have listened and people when they was telling me don't go buy all the books and don't go read the Old Testament Supergrapha, don't go get the lost books of the Bible, don't read Enoch, don't look up those words. You don't need all those books about history and I mean people was like you're doing too much. You sit here and you read 5, 6 books at a time. How can you even retain that? Is you even why is you worried about that? Had I have listened to people telling me what was not for me, I would not be able to be here for y'all. I would not be able to go to the books. And sometimes, I'm getting older, so my memory ain't as because it's a lot of stuff in here now. It ain't like what it was 2 years ago. Literally 2 years ago. This week, 2 years ago. Okay? A lot has changed in my life in 2 years. But the magnitude of people that God has allowed me to impact has changed in 2 years too. The amount of people that open up books and study and ask God questions and are changing the way that they live and changing the way that they speak. Hey, sugar, you hear me? Everything that you go through is not going to look like somebody else's thing. But it might be because God is taking you places that they'll never see. God is getting ready to take you through some experiences that they'll never have. And it's because they don't want to put in what it costs to get that thing out. It's a lot of my minister friends that don't feel like I should be doing what I'm doing right now. But remember, you said I was doing too much and you wasn't about to do all that. God needed somebody who would. God needed somebody who wasn't about to preach houses and cars and all of this stuff and say, listen, you send some money, you send some money. If you don't, you don't. I'm still going to say what I have to say. And you can't change me by liking me or buying me things. I'm still going to be the same. To some ministers, that's too deep. They said, you don't need to go that deep. You do when you got people that have held on to things for over 40 or 50 years. Do you hear me? You do when you want to impact 80-year-olds, 70-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds, down to 8-year-olds. Just tell they TT, I'm going to be good every day. You do when you got 9-year-olds telling their sister, you better not lie to mama, you're going to be on the 2nd and the 5th floor. You going to lie to mom? Because you know what happens to liars. They be on the 2nd and the 5th floor. You better tell the truth. It might not seem like nothing to nobody else. But when I hear those stories and when those babies send me their stuff, their life has changed. And they could potentially have a better life than we had because they got the tools earlier. How many of us, since we've been on this journey for 2 years, have said, I wish I would have had this information in my 20s or younger. I wish somebody would have taught me this or taught me this about parenting 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. How many people have said that? But you are doing something different because you're giving it to your babies and your nieces and nephews and your grandkids. Like stories, but they know stories. And they remember. That's how they can tell you everything that happened in Frozen. So it might look like too much when y'all started to buy y'all survival stuff. People told you was doing too much. Raise your hand if your husband, wife, cousin, kids, friends said you doing too much. You're doing too much. It ain't that serious. Anybody, when you started prepping or started growing a vegetable garden or learning how to can or any hi baby, any of the things that you did. Me, my husband, he was at first until we had to use them. Come on, and now he on board. My son-in-law told my daughter that I was doing was a good idea, and they started doing it. Come on now. So, Dewana, was you here when I said once you start to live it, other people they either gonna live it or get away? When you start to change and you start to value different things, then the people around you most times start to value those same things. Now, now that they see everybody on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and everywhere else selling survival stuff, do you think that they still, whether they tell you or not, do you think they still feel the same way? Do you think that they still feel like you're doing too much? Or you're a conspiracy theorist now that they're seeing it on TV? Hey, Sarah. They seeing the solar lights. They see the phones that went out. They see they talking about food crisis. They see they talking about cargo ain't getting over here. They see it. Whether they say anything to you or not, they see it. They see it. My sister and my twin boy love following. Oh, tell them I say hello. Yes, about the hidden things of the word. And yeah, my mom teaches the Bible. Come on. Listen. Now he said, what did Tia text today? And teach today. Come on. Because this is the thing. He's able to help the people at work. Whether he tell you or not, he be putting fat on the. Hey, bro, I know you probably think I'm crazy, but you need to go ahead and make sure you and the family have what you need, man, because something is coming over here, and you need to be ready. So he got friends that snap her telling their wives, baby, buy a little bit extra when you go to the store. Auntie, whether folks thank you, whether folks say it to you or not, they're listening now. Not all of them, but the ones that's supposed to. This is why when God sends a word to you, you don't gotta know what's gonna happen as to why you're buying it. You just get it. And like she said, a couple people said they wasn't with it until we needed it. So what if you would listen to them and not had it? What if you would have listened to them and not had it? You all, like I said, I'm gonna keep saying this because it's been 2 years. But the fact that y'all held on, the fact that y'all believed even when you couldn't see, and you have faith that God, I don't know if this is right or not, but I believe what's being taught. I'm seeing it myself. So can you please help me? My daughter and her friends have a group conversation about our studies. Come on, Nicola. You still remember 2020. Come on. That part. And how you were not prepared. I ask this question all the time. I'm going to ask it again today. How she's 15. Come on. How many people were not prepared? If you was, don't answer the question. But if you were not prepared for the pandemic, how many people was that? If you was prepared, fine, because I was too. I didn't have to run out. But if you weren't, just raise your hand and be honest that you wasn't prepared, that you didn't have food stocked up, toilet paper, wash powder, soap, pine sol, bleach. You just thought it was going to blow over. Thank you for being honest. Okay. Okay. do you feel more prepared if something comes now? You feel like you'll be ready, even if you don't know exactly what it is? Do you feel like you are in a better situation if they shut down the country, if they shut down the world? Are you and your family in a better situation just in case it's complete chaos? The only thing I got to stock up on now is laundry detergent. Come on. Was not prepared, but I'm better now. Come on. Come on. Come on. I still go back and look at the stuff, and so I'll be ready this time. Come on. No need solar generator. What you mean? I wasn't prepared, but I was definitely good the whole time. Yeah, I mean, a lot of us were good, but I'm saying this time around, they not handing out $1,000 in this and all of those extra benefits. There won't be those things this time. And a lot of people think, oh, when this happens, it's going to be exactly like it was last time. It's going to be the exact opposite this time. It's all right, Kiana. You working on it. Working on the garden now. Come on. Yeah. Wasn't prepared, but I got my act together now. Come on. Oh, you need to buy a solar generator. Okay. That's all right. God worked that out too. Halfway there, which is better than nothing. Wendy. Better than nothing. It's hurting my eyes already. I might have to move them lights. Hold on 1 second. Where do we want to go today? I be wanting to get out of this Old Testament supergrapha, but I know this is the only book a lot of people have, so let's do this. All right, let me ask y'all a question. I'm gonna tell you, I really didn't care for what's the name? What's his name? Um, 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 Aquaman. I like the first one better. It was fine, but I don't know about that. I have to do that for right now. Let's get in my eyes. Um, Come on now, you hanging out with our folks? That's because them is our peoples. Them is our peoples. This is the thing. You never know when made him cry and gave him food. Come on. Have y'all seen 2024 Simpson clip? Y'all know Simpsons always planning in our face. It is. Now with how all these grocery stores and businesses are going out of business, money where? Come, Mari. Mari. All the high-end stores is closed, and I see some other store closing the other day, and I can't think of what. It's a bank closing too. It's a couple banks. I mean, the whole thing is going to Huntington Bank or something is going out. I can't remember which one I saw. I haven't really decided just yet. Just got done watching it with my brother. It was all right. It was all right. Hold on. Yeah, let's do this. Mm. All right. We already read this before, but we're going to read it again. So you're going to need book 2. Y'all ready? We're going to need book 2. And we're going to be in a couple places. Oh, okay, Tiff. Well, come on in then. I was off for a month too. Listen, dang near it. Well, I really wasn't off for a month because I still worked. What is who doing to prepare, Shay? I'm already prepared. Huh? I'm already prepared. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I'm giving y'all the eye, Bessie. Bessie, I'm giving y'all the eye. I was on vacation, but I still had to work. Oh, oh. You, I don't know if you know, I have a video on YouTube. Have you seen the YouTube video? What is it called, y'all? I can't even think of it. Survival is Survival 2.0. Oh God, that's probably the only message I know the name of. Thank you. Hmm. I had to remember if it was called disaster preparedness or survival and 900, over 900. Good morning. Good morning. Over 900. So there's that. Give me a break. Give me a break. Really. You had me stalking Auntie Page to see if you was still there. Not stalking Auntie Page to see where I'm at. And this why I'll be telling people who might see. Tiff. Now let me say something. I love y'all. One. And two, you said you already had your break, teacher. Sorry. Ain't that something? But wait. That's did I tell you the people that is my friends? If I don't be around them, um, they'll go looking and talking to the people that they know I used to hang around and stuff, so they can try to find out where I'm is. It's happening on the internet. I told y'all. I ain't even trying to be funny. I done lived this too many times. Listen here. I already know how it go. And do. I already know how it go. Uh-uh. Listen, hilarious. I will share your message with my family and friends again. Thank you so much. So we in book two. I'm gonna let everybody get to what they need to get to because I know everybody ain't got their stuff. Please get your notebooks out. And even though we read this before, I think it's important because we got a lot of new people or people that might not have gone back and watched all the classes, or you might not have been here for this class, or whatever it is. So it's okay to go over stuff, and then we're always expounding anyway. Because the cool thing is, like the first year we did WOIU, it was everybody just getting their books and getting their basics and kind of getting back into studying if you haven't been in school in a long time. I haven't told anybody yet, Tosh. I haven't said it yet. Because I know how folks do, not you, but other people. If I tell the page early, they go and try to teach my class and answer the questions, and it be driving me crazy. You know that. Ugh. It's like if you know when you want to teach now, go on and get on your TikTok and do it then. Quit trying to answer my questions because you steal from the other folks that didn't know. Maybe that boils my buttons. You hear me? It boils the buttons. Listen here. So, um, listen here. Boils my buttons. Trying to tell you, I'll be like, stop it. Because this is the thing. I always want it to be new and exciting for everyone else. I want that same pop that happened for you when you was like, oh my God. I always want that to be. I always, whenever you're reading, I always want you to have an amazing understanding and experience because then that'll keep you reading more. You know what I mean? It'll keep you seeking, it'll keep you looking, it'll keep you ready. You see what I'm saying? To receive too. Because let me ask you a question, and I'm not trying to, when I ask these questions, if it doesn't apply to you, you don't have to answer. But the moment of discovery, right, Mari? When all they questions, they know they about to be answered now. Now look at this. Who understands the KJV better now? You gonna be honest and say that you didn't understand it before? Because all them these and thous, I didn't either. Like, this is stupid. I don't even know what it's saying. I get the gist of it, but I really didn't. And now when you go back and you read it, like, yeah, I don't even know. I know exactly what this is meaning, and that's not what that means. Anybody start to read the word and you cry because it hits home? I didn't know that the KJV, what the KJV was talking about. I knew it was talking about God, but nothing else. Come on, baby. And then you couldn't even apply it to your life. It's like medicine in a different language. Still think the Bible is boring? Clicks in like a good jigsaw puzzle. Love it. Me, that's why I come back faithfully. Come on. It's much more clarity. Come on. Yeah. I got the Amplified Bible. It has helped me tremendously. Understand, heck, I wasn't even reading it until now. Right, Toya. Y'all, can I tell the newbies? I ain't gonna keep telling that story, but I think it's powerful. We all have a lot of powerful testimonies, but I do think that Toya's is one of our most infamous turnarounds. Her and Tone, Toya and Tone. So y'all don't know this, but Toya used to be a witch or practice witchcraft, right? And she came in one day and said, well, what about me? I do witchcraft, or I'm a witch or something. I said, well, good. Get your book and sit down. Maybe you'll learn something. Come on in, cousin, and have a seat. Listen, you hear me? And now, the tarot cards and whatever else. You said you flipping witches and is. You hear me? Because if I say you do witchcraft, you're a witch, period. It don't matter if it's a little or a lot. Magic, you're doing witchcraft. I remember crystals and cards. Come on. Yep, I sat right on down too. And then we got to meet, and we've been family ever since. And she's one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. One of the most calming, and she got good hugs like Auntie Page. Remember I told y'all about the hugs? Hugs is, I don't touch everybody. I did not care. I did not say have a seat. What that mean? It's about 17 high priestess in here and all of that. You hear me? It is. It's people. It's more than that. Because the same way we was raised in Christianity, it's a lot of people that was raised in witchcraft. They were raised in Santeria and all of that. Palomambe and all of these different things. They was raised as their religion in that. And so no, they don't see it as wrong. Saint worship and all of this kind of stuff. But if I make you feel crazy about it, you dang sure ain't gonna listen to nothing I have to say. You hear me? Like she said, if I would have stood up in a church and told them I practice magic, they would have started rebuking me and made me leave immediately. The ops have been having their seats and boots too. Yes. You grow up in Ifa? Thank you, Stephanie. You heard it. Who remembers in one of our things that one of our lives that a lady said that her grandmother started teaching her wards at 3? Y'all remember that? It was in the beginning. In one of our lives, one of the young ladies got on there. She said, my grandma been teaching me magic. It's a thing that we start learning magical wards at 3 to ward off the other witches and evil spirits and this and that, and was teaching us at 3. And you still think kids are too young to learn about the Bible and these lessons when they're teaching babies magic at 3? How to do spells and incantations at 3? And you don't want to tell your baby because not right now. Okay, the devil ain't never going to wait. He'll introduce them to intimacy that they don't need young, drugs, alcohol. He ain't waiting. I'm talking about right after, depending on the parents. If he got a hold to them, it could be right when they come out. And you gonna wait. The devil wants you to. Because then he know he can get his foothold in them. He can get his claws in them before you can even build the foundation. Well, go on and wait then. I start teaching my babies to pray as soon as they can talk. Say Jesus. Say, no, devil, go away. Because they was having too many nightmares. So spirits was trying to get with my babies in the middle of the night. Oh, okay, I got you. If you can say no, bottle, and all of that, you can say Jesus. You can start to pray. If you can rattle off one of these songs off of Disney or two, baby, you can pray. Come on and get down on these knees. And you say what mommy say. No, say it. So by the time my kids is 5, they pretending to pray for me. Jesus, help my mommy. Her being mean. And can you please give her some money so her can take us to the doctor and take us, and then buy me some candy. And thank you, God. Get your hand off of me. But guess what? When they hit 10, 11, 12, and they'll see mom going through something, my kids will come and lay hands on me and start praying. They would go get the oil and say, Mom, can I pray for you? It's going to be okay, Mom. God hears us and he sees us. If I never put that in them young. I told y'all one of my babies' name mean God has answered. I said, look, we need some money or we going to be in a bad situation come tomorrow. I need you to go and pray. That baby got in the tub while she was going through all that she was going through with her situation and prayed, and the money showed up the same day. I said, hallelujah! Thank you, Jesus. A good name is better than riches, baby. Her name means God is answered. God has answered. And when I go to God as answered, excuse me, can you ask God for something? She the one told me I was going to be on TikTok. She the one that told me I was going to be on TikTok. My son is the one that told me that I was going to be a part of the tribulation force at the end of the world. And his name means friend to all. My other baby is the one that's helping people not get evicted now, even though she's a leasing agent, and her man name means devoted to God. She said, Mom, I got to go with my heart, not what is going to pay me good. Then my other baby named me my angel of wisdom. She was hated by many women, beautiful, and she is sucks. And they're all gorgeous, but that's just what her name means, and women just be funny with her. But she's also my kid that I feel like has gone through so much, and I used to be like, when is you gonna get it? And she's turned out to be a very wise child. Be careful what you name your children, because it do matter. Don't go for cute. You better give them a good name, because it means something. Like a lot of Cecilias have eye problems and real thick glasses, not trying to be funny. And Cecilia literally means blind. You don't think that's crazy? Cecilia, the name Cecilia means blind. And most of the Cecilias I know, they got real thick glasses. Or problems with their sight. Ain't that crazy? I think like Brandon means like angry or aggressive or something like that. And most of the Brandons that I know be bringing hell on folks. You hear me? They are a force to be reckoned with. Yeah. Your name means something. My friend's name is Cecilia and she wears glasses. I'm trying to tell you. It's a real thing. Yeah. 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 Well, man, I know a mean egg Brandon. And do most Brandons I know got that fire. You hear me? I very rarely met a weak Brandon. I'm trying to tell you. And they be calm until they not. You said, yep, mine be squinting a lot. Listen here. My last kid, I have no idea what hers mean. The other two biblical names, baby daddy named Brandon, and he hard headed. I'm trying to tell you. I can believe that Brandon Woo, my cousin, my favorite cousin is me. Michael said, oh no, wait a minute. My brother is Brandon. Look at y'all like, and dude, listen here. I be trying to tell, see, words have power. Who's starting to see words have power? Hanif, true believer, Kashif, the one who reveals, and Sharif, noble one. Come on now. My second child name means compassionate and merciful. He is the sweetest baby. Now do you understand? Okay. So in the Bible, did y'all see that the mother would or the father would name the baby after whatever it was that they was been through, or what they was getting ready to go through? Or how that baby, the spirit that God told him that person was going to be. Like, oh boy, his name means trickster. You said I've not met a good Brandon yet. Hilarious. Alexis, let me see. I found out Alexis means protector or defender of people. Okay. Loki. Uh-oh. My little priest leader man has been through a lot at just 3 years old. Uh-huh. Because when you got a mantle, it be heavy even when you a kid. Mm-hmm. So who's now thinking about power in the name God give us? That's what your name mean, Mari? My government name means praiseworthy. Okay. I'm gonna make my Batman sign in the skin. Oh my god. I don't know the meaning of my name. Well, looks like y'all got some homework today. And the easiest way, like Nehemiah. Oh, I have a niece named Nehemiah. Ain't that cool? They named her Nehemiah, and it's supposed to be after the Bible, but they named her Niamia, Nehemiah. That's cool. Your name means marvelous. Mm-hmm. My baby girl's name is Ariane, which means God's anointed one. Okay, so now that you all even are even just thinking about that, my boyfriend's daughter, my boy, my daughter's boyfriend's name is Brandon, and we had a whole family brawl with him. I'm trying to tell you, the Brandons will tear some stuff up. Not all, but I ain't met no Brandons that don't got fire. I'm trying to, and they not always aggressive, but come to the time to move around, they gonna do it. They moving furniture around. Mm-hmm. Or God is exalted. Okay, my name means to be a great leader. Okay, okay, all right. So let's get to this study then. Be thinking of names. Words have power. Brittany was just popular in the '80s. Well, break it down into syllables now if you have to, because even those he was what arguing where to send money that I gave someone and won't accept. Oh wow, my name said Miss J. Oh, justice. I know the meaning of mine. I'm trying to live up to it. Well, you just take it day by day, Michael. Mm-hmm. My name is Nicole. It means peace bringer. Okay. Mary, drop of the sea, bitterness, beloved, and wished for a child. Wow. Okay. Okay. It means pure. Was you pure, Miss Kathy? Was you pure? I know somebody named Kathy, and she wanna be pure, but she just mean as a doggone. Doesn't the way the name spell take away the true meaning? I don't think so. My name is Sasha, meaning defender of helper and mankind. Okay. Melissa is Greek for honeybee. Okay. All right. So since we were talking about yesterday about Pangea a little bit, and we talked about how the world was separated and how a lot of the names are the same, and uh, the whole giant deal. Hold on, y'all. Ooh, excuse me. I figure we'll get over here. So we going to the Book of the Jubilees. I gotta go to the restroom real quick because we already been here almost an hour, and I've been drinking plenty of water. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. Thank you. We gonna be in the Book of the Jubilees. I'm not telling y'all where just yet because I know y'all. Go get your book too if you can, or get online. And we're in the Book of the Jubilees, but I'm not gonna tell you where. Now I'm not online. I'm in the book today. So if you reading Jubilees in the book, you just gonna have to figure out where we at because I don't. All it's several different copies of the. My granddaughter's name is Carmen, and she is too, and a force to be reckoned with. Honey, listen, I already know. I'm trying to tell you. Oh, I told y'all my name means life, and the devil been trying to take my life since I was born, literally, even before I was born. Because from my understanding, my mother was not gonna keep my pregnancy, but they kept telling her she wasn't pregnant. They kept telling her ain't no baby in there for 5 months, and then poof, nigga, I showed up, and it's been hell on wheels ever since. She's the only daughter too by my mother. Yep, I was supposed to be being here. I was supposed to be in here. Don't worry about it. Yep, my baby used to get dragged under his bed and was in the hospital twice. Yeah, I was always getting dragged under my bed. That mess used to be crazy. Mama ain't this shit with me. I don't know how I got under here. I was asleep. I was asleep. I'll be right back. It's a real thing. So get your book too. Get your notebook out. Steady drinking. Steady drinking that coffee. Like I didn't just say I had to go to the bathroom 15 times. 1 second, y'all. Okay, sorry, y'all. Looking for my phone. I do want to show y'all this though, real quick. Y'all see it? I didn't get to show y'all this room. We was there. It's gonna turn, so y'all can't see it all the way. Ooh, I probably got to be there when they was doing it at the sugar factory, honey. Yes, I had a good time. When they do that birthday thing, they let the lights down, and baby, it be a whole thing. I forgot to show y'all that. I can't show y'all the rest of it because I don't want people trying to say I got their face or nothing. But yeah, we had a good time, and that food was good. I got the honey chicken and the waffles, spicy spicy honey chicken or something. Hot honey chicken with the waffles. Good. Yes, my friends on there on Snap be in there. Yes, honey. Yes, it is lit. And they have if you want the drinks that smoke, they have the what you call it's for the kids too. Virgin for the kids. They got virgin drinks there. So if you don't drink alcohol, they can make all those same candy drinks with all of the everything in there. Virgin drinks. Glad you have fun, ex-wife. I'm so happy you respect our relationship. I did. I ate a lot of good food too. Southern food. I'm petty. I'm gonna quit messing with you, dare you? Yeah, the sugar factory is lit. So if you ever get a chance to go, and they food is reasonable. The drinks is what ain't reasonable. The food is reasonable. Y'all hear me talking about? I'm happy you had a good time. I wish my real ex-husband felt like that. He doesn't. Been to one in Miami and Chicago. Okay, I went to the one in Atlanta. I'm gonna have to go to the one in Chicago, maybe. Yes. All right. Let's do this. I want to be here. Okay, so let's do this. What did God say would be happening at the end times? What time dispensation did he refer to prior to that? That he said, in this will be happening just as the days of who? What's that scripture about? The time of Noah. It says at the end times it would be same as the days of Noah. Same as the days of Noah, it says. Right? We know this. Okay. So can we go to page 64 in book 2? Excuse me. And go down to chapter 5 right there, or paragraph 5. Excuse me. Don't blame me. I could have delivered it personally. Not on my vacation. If you want me, you got to come get me on your own dollar, sir. You want to see me? You let me know you want to see me. You hear me? Mm-hmm. Book 2. You ain't got the I got the listen. There you go. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm old school. Wait a minute, that must have hit home with some folks. You said let them know send a steak and potato pack. Something. Everybody rooting for you. They said Daniel is still making excuses. Daniel, it's 50-50 for you, bruh. Some people is fighting for you and the others don't want to hear nothing you gotta say. I was 3 hours away. That's a long It's okay. It's okay. Even if I was 30 minutes away. It's gotta be on your moving on. Let's go. Come on. Ain't nobody fooling with Daniel. I'm still waiting on my damn roast. That's fine. It's okay. 3 hours is not even a half a tank of gas, Daniel. You're messing up the class. Stop it. Moving on. Here we go. Y'all ready? Oh, Jamar, you see? I said no because I was on somebody else invited me on vacation. If you invite me on vacation, then I will come eat with you. But if you did not invite me on vacation, then I'm not coming to chill with you on somebody. No, that's like me taking a car that a nigga bought me and riding another nigga in it. You don't do stuff like that, do you? Listen, that part, that part, that part. We're moving on. Listen, here we go. That's how them young girls do it. Just retired. Moving on. All right. And when the children of men begin to multiply, who was told to be fruitful and multiply? Us. Adam and his children. Can we look up the definition of multiply? Even though we know. What's the definition of multiply? We always like to look into stuff. Sometimes we find other words we like. What's the definition of multiply, family? To increase. Mm-mm. I like increase. Be on the lookout. We'll see. To increase in number, especially great numbers. Ew. To multiply. Reproduction. Multiples. To grow in numbers. To create more of us. So the humans, the children of men, do you all agree that your parents are human? Somebody might not have a human parent in here, but for what you know, do you all agree that your parents are human? To spread. Yep. Sometimes when you spread them, you definitely multiply, don't you? Don't spread. Don't spread. No, I'm just playing. Had to throw that in there. Moving on. No, I'm just playing. I'm joking. I don't got to worry about that. But, some of you young ladies do. And some of you old ladies do. I'm not in that pool. Moving on. Peter, listen here. No spreading. They said no touching, no touching, no spreading, no spreading. Listen here. I'm just playing. No, definitely be fruitful and multiply if God tell you to do so. Here we go. Y'all know we always got to throw a little bit in there. All right. So you are a child of a human, and the direct order God gave us was to be fruitful and multiply, to increase in number. Right? That's what he told us, to increase in number. Period. Right? Here we go. Okay. Humans. Humans. You need to reproduce. Humans. Now, why does it make a difference and why is it so important? If you go to Genesis 6 right now, when it says, when the children of men, we in book 2, page 64. Why does it say the children of men? If you go to Genesis, if you're here in Enoch, if you're in Jubilees, now we're in Jubilees. It's 3 places where it specifically states the children of men, the daughters of men. Why does it do that? It's to separate the entities. Thank you. Children of men, humans, children of God, angels. Come on. Because a lot of fallen animals, oh, not yet, not just yet, but yes, they were. Because there's also reference to the children of God or the sons of God, which is different. So if you are new here and you didn't know, when you go to your Genesis and it says when men began to multiply and daughters were born to them, when the children of men and that the children of heaven saw them, the children of heaven and the children of men are 2 different races of people, or 2 different races of beings. And a lot of people in Genesis, they skip over that. When pastors are preaching this in the very beginning of the Bible, they just skip over it. 64, book 2. Okay? Do anybody got their book? Can y'all go to Bible Gateway or Bible, if you got your Bible right? What is if you got the NIV or NLT, go to Genesis 6 for me real quick and tell me what your Bible says, because everybody's don't say the same thing. And then when it says, and these people were in the earth, what does it say? Your version of the Bible that you read. Hey, hello, Miss Brandy. How are you? Whatever, if you go to Genesis 6, what does your version? I'm about to, you know what I'm gonna do? Because y'all buy me all these bookmarks, and I just put them up here because I don't be wanting them to get messed up. I'm about to start using them, so don't be mad if they be crumpled up. I gotta bring these down here. If they be crumpled up and stuff, don't be mad. Because y'all know I'm rough and be breaking stuff. I be trying to keep them pretty, but I need to use these. What verse? 6 and 1. Genesis 6 and 1. When human beings begin to increase in numbers, when men begin to multiply, yeah. What's your version of the Bible that you read? Because everybody don't read the same version, so I'm trying to see how many different things it says. Somebody said when human beings begin to increase in numbers. One said when men begin to multiply. What does yours say? When men begin to multiply. Nobody don't read like the NST or any of the versions. On earth, and daughters were born to them. This is NIV. Okay. Okay. I just want to see what everybody's version says, because I know I have several different versions of the Bible in here. They don't. Now it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were. Okay, thank you, Giselle. Then men began to multiply. The sins of his. The NLT says what? People began to multiply, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth. Okay. All right. Now, moving on to the next part of that scripture. Who saw the daughters of Adam and Eve? When people begin to multiply on the face of the ground, when human beings begin to in number. Brandy, I don't know why I can never see the rest of your comments, Mama. Okay, NIV, when human beings begin to increase in number on earth. Okay. Yours says the sons of God. When human beings begin to increase in number on the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw the daughters of humans. Earth daughters. Okay. The sons of God. It says the watchers in what you're reading. The fallen angels saw the daughters of men in what you're reading. Yours says sons of God. ESV says they begin to multiply on the face of the land. The fallen angels. Sorry. Oh, you're fine. Your Hebrew Bible says Nephilim. Yours says the sons of God. Yours says the angels of the Lord. Okay. Now, who's ever heard the flood story taught at church? Saw the daughters of humans were beautiful. They saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful. And the sons of God, who are differentiated they differ from the sons of men, the daughters of men, and then the sons of God. The KJV says the sons of God. Okay. You've been in church your whole life. When they taught you about the flood, did they ever talk the son? Yours says the sons of Elohim, only as a child, but never in detail. Okay. Did they ever say this was the angels? Is the question I'm getting at. Or whenever you read that, or whenever it was taught to you, did you automatically assume that they was just talking about holy men? Sons and daughters. Never heard it, and I'm a preacher's kid. No, never was realized. Okay. Or detailed. They were claiming that the angels didn't have organs, and did. They do. My brother said the same thing. I thought that's the craziest thing ever. Nope, they kept it basic. Never mentioned the angels. I don't think that's mind blowing. I wasn't taught any of this period. My nana was a minister. Wow, never mentioned the angels. Y'all don't think that's mind blowing? That they never delved in, they never dug into that and explained who the sons of God were. No, I always thought they meant man. Mm. We're in book 2 on page 64, but right now we're on our devices in Genesis. To think about it, they don't really touch the book of Kings or Judges. Fishy business. Definitely thought it was men. Okay. Y'all know I asked these kind of questions. The difference was never explained to me in church, and they never taught you to pay attention to it either. Right? Because then you would know that the Titans were real and that wasn't just mythology. Right? It's clearly distinguished, though. Right. So, do you understand how Genesis 6, 1 through 4, people just read through that very quickly and they say Genesis is not a good book, it's boring. I used to say it too, because nobody was teaching me what to look for. Okay? Because they would hoop and holler past that part. But had we have all been taught the sons of God are angels and they came down and they made it with the women, that would have put us in a different mindset in searching the word and understanding the wars that were being fought over Israel. It would also prove that the Bible and God is real, not just that the Titans were real. Come on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then they would have to get rid of evolution, the Big Bang Theory, and all that. right? So let's look. Let's keep going. Some chapters in the Bible and lost chapters made me feel like it was their beginning of MIP, all of them. Babies being conceived. Something's going on. Here we go. It says, and when the children of men began to multiply on the surface of the earth, and daughters were born to them, the children of men, that the angels of the Lord saw in a certain year of that jubilee that they were good to look at. What's the jubilee? Tell me what a jubilee is. 50 years. So I'm going to read this back. 50 years. Yes. Y'all know I just be wanting to see if y'all paying attention to stuff. Excuse me. Or what we call bicentennial. So a jubilee and bicentennial is the same thing. And if you did not know this, back in the days, they counted in jubilees in marks of 50 years. So in the 50th jubilee, in the 7th jubilee. So the 7th set of 50 years, right? So 50, 100 is 2 jubilees. 150, 3 jubilees. So when you're reading in the jubilees and it says in the 4th jubilee, in the 3rd week of the year, or the whatever, then you understand if it says the 3rd jubilee, then that's been 150 years since whatever it was that they was talking about. Exactly. Right? So it says in the 7th generation from Adam, this happened when the angels came down and said, she fine as, I'm about to make her my baby mama. I'm about to go all in. I done been watching these little human girls grow up. And brother, this last set that done came through, man, listen, I ain't gonna be able to do. I'm just about to go. They're just about to have to be mad because I'm about to get that. Now, who thinks that God knew that they were already gonna do this? Why didn't God just unalive the angels or bind them before they could go into the women? He could have. He could have. Oh, come on, D. Kurt. Free will, because those are his sons. I don't want you to. But if you want to do this, understand that it's going to cause destruction. God made us because he knew they wasn't going to listen. So he made a second set of children. It breaks fathers' hearts when their sons don't listen to them. We got any fathers in here that's going to be honest and talk about when your son started to go astray, how it made you feel? Yes, mothers, we heard with this girl or boy. But sons and their fathers, they have a different bond. And when they start to see their son go in a way that they understand can destroy their life, take their life, then you try to go and give them wisdom. You try to go and give them wisdom, okay? But it breaks a father's heart when he see his son about to be led astray by a young lady. He's hanging with people that's whispering in his ear that's going to get him in trouble and then run and leave him, and it might be his life that is lost. Fathers be trying to get a hold of their son. Do you know where you get that from? You get that from our dad. Because he didn't want to cast Lucifer out. Lucifer was the most beautiful son he made. The most talented in certain areas. You know how I think about Lucifer, even though they made him look ugly? If you've ever seen one of the last X-Men, y'all remember the one that they made that had everybody's abilities in one that was fighting against Wolverine? He had all of the mutants' abilities. Every single one of the mutants' abilities. Every mutant, if they was a chameleon, if they was diamond coated, if they was strong, if they was quick, if they had the power over the lightning. They put all of them different mutants into one. Lucifer had a lot of gifts. Like most angels, soldier angels, they just do that. That's what they do. They protect, they fight, they get stuff in order. But Lucifer had a lot of abilities. He could sing, he could dance, he knew war strategy, he knew how to fashion, and I mean, he just had a whole bunch of stuff going on with him. And he was easy on the eyes. Okay? How many fathers have poured everything into their first son for him to do nothing? For him to fall flat on his face? For him to not, because they made him so amazing, he feel like he ain't got to do nothing. I don't got to do that because you don't know. Yeah, but you're not your dad. You cannot take what your daddy did and say, I'm going to ride on my daddy coattail. You got to do your own thing. But there's a lot of first sons that have been a disappointment. Because dad did do a little bit too much for him and did let him get away with a little bit too much. And now the son expects it, even if he has to disrespect his father to get it. If he has to weave lies with mama and grandma to get what he wants. Anybody know any first sons that do this? It don't have to be yours. It could be your nephew, your cousin, maybe your daddy, or your husband is the first son. And he and his father do not have a close relationship because dad let him be whatever he was going to be. You say, that's my brother. It's a real thing. Multi-talented firstborn are usually unable to find their main talent. Come on now. It's a real thing. You're good at everything, and so you do nothing. My daddy and my papa. Aww. Right? You said I was one. Come on now. It'd be a real thing. All right, let's go. That the angels of the Lord saw in a certain year of that jubilee that they were good to look at. And they took wives for themselves from all of those whom they chose. And they bore children for them, and they were giants. And injustice increased upon the earth. Please tell me what injustice means. What is the definition of injustice? Good afternoon. Speaking in the first person in 6, I'm just finding my own true direction. All right. Thank you for coming here and being honest. Thank you. You just helped a whole bunch of people that's younger than you, sir, in real life. Wrongly accused, reverse justice, lack of fairness. Lack of fairness. So as soon as the angels, unrighteousness, as soon as the angels, unfair. Okay, listen now. Listen what I'm about to tell you. Okay, hear me. As soon as the angels disobeyed God and touched the human women and made giants, all of a sudden the odds was not fair no more. Can anybody tell me why the odds wasn't fair no more? Raise your hand if you knew. Raise your hand if you're new to the class. Angels had secret knowledge, half-breeds, yes. But what's another? They was more powerful and bigger. Y'all know we got to bring out our... This is why injustice happened. These are human, regular-sized people. These are mid-sized titans or giants, and these are the biggest guys, the first. These are the humans. These are the mid-sized giants, and those are the titans. Humans that look like grasshoppers, just like in Numbers 13 and 33 and all the other scriptures that talk about the sons of Anak or the Anakim. This is the Anakim. The sons of Anak, please tell me where the scripture of the sons of Anak is. Where it says the sons of Anak. What scripture? Find it for me, please. So when the Bible tells you that the sons of Anak, when they sent the spies in there, and they were like grasshoppers to those people, this is what you should be picturing in your mind. This is when the world became unfair. Because how do you tell something when you are this size right here? No. Or even this size. Because these are regular humans over here, right here. This regular humans right here. This regular humans right here. They're not even as big as this giant's head. So how do you tell something that is this much larger than you? He's on a horse. They had to... So y'all know in the Bible when they said they had to go up against the Amalekites, these was the Amalekites. Joshua 15, 13, and 14. Thank you. Do you understand that? All the wars that Israel was fighting, in the first part of it, after the 7th generation, it was these guys. And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come from the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and they saw us as such. If you are new here, please go to Numbers 13 and 33 and read that. It says in Joshua, and that the sons of Anak saw regular-sized human men as grasshoppers. So then the injustice came in because these people were thousands of times larger than a regular children of man. Child of men, children of men, the daughters of men. And because angels are shapeshifters, and the Bible says you never know when you're entertaining an angel right now, they came in, they looked like regular folks, they got with the women, and then boom. These are the children that they started to have. So when God used to tell Israel, why are you scared? Huh? Have you seen them? They have walls that are impenetrable to humans. If you've never seen any Jack and the Beanstalk, now you understand. Because one of their trees went into the heavens. Everything, they are the people that started genetically modifying everything. They genetically modified the animals. They genetically modified the trees. They genetically modified the humans. They genetically modified everything. The moment that they went into the women, they had to now create food that could sustain their sons. When you go and you look in the Bible and you see when the famine started, it was around the time that these beings, how do you feed something that big? What do you feed that? The moment that the angels put their seed into women in Genesis 6, humans were altered forever. We talked about the genetic disorders and all of that as to why we have what we have now. Okay? But if God said, so it was in the days of Noah, it's going to be at the end times, then what are we looking for? Do we have genetically modified children right now? There's a star that had his children genetically modified. What's his name? Rest his soul. MJ. Did he genetically modify his daughter too? Michael Jackson. He genetically modified his children so that their skin would be a certain color, so they would look a certain way. He genetically modified the eggs. So wait a minute. So we have genetically modified humans walking around now, and back in the day, in the seventh generation from Adam, there were genetically modified humans walking around then too. No, Dwayne Wade did. Y'all already know what be going on. Y'all already know what be going on. All of a sudden, my internet goes out on both of these. Couldn't get back on. Restarted the thing. Okay. Now they back on this, putting me on red stuff. This is petty. Y'all already know what goes down over here. Mm-hmm. Y'all already know. Wait for everybody to get in. Everybody to yeah. Yeah. Y'all already know. Thank you. Okay. You can, but can you just hold off a minute? I'm not saying, but if it's anything that's gonna be, how about you inbox a few people or something? Just if it's gonna be real heavy, because it's just my early morning right now. You know, I definitely pray for everybody. Oh, it's a missing person. Okay. Y'all, can y'all please pray for Amanda Bolton? Someone that she knows is missing. You hear me? Okay. You're welcome. And you know we definitely pray every day. All right, so back to these genetically modified humans. Is we ready? Y'all ready? I might need to go and while everybody getting back in here, because we're back. Give me a second. I'm not ready. A moment. Because what the heck? We just trying to have a regular old class over here. Crazy. Absolutely nuts that every time we get in the midst of a good conversation like that, it be some BS. I ain't gonna say every time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You missed the whole hour. You good, sis. You know we got to rewatch Hot Tomato. Alright, here we go, y'all. Y'all ready? We about to get back where we was at. Don't worry about it. They do that all the time, though. It's ridiculous. Right. We started talking about GMO people, and it was like X-nay on the mouth A. So now that we know that there are genetically modified humans walking around here, is that one thing that is like the days of Noah? Because in the seventh generation from Adam is when the angels came down and genetically modified humans, as to why men were 300 and 450 feet tall. Humanoid beings. They weren't human, but they were humanoid because their mamas was half and half and stuff. So the injustice that was created if you're new here, this is a really good book to get. It's a short read, but it has a lot of amazing details in it. Amazing. Okay. Now, can somebody please tell me where the scripture is where it talks about Og of the Bible? Where did they talk about Og in the Bible? Deuteronomy 3 and 11, 3 and 3. So that we know he was a real king of Bashan, right? Moses fought Og. Okay. Pretty interesting. Was it over? I thought it was Abraham and Lot. It was Moses. Deuteronomy 2. Okay, so we know he was a real person. So I'm gonna just read out of here, and we'll talk about some of these injustices. But just so that you know, so it says, "This is the 100,000 giant wars described by both Anak, the keeper of the bodies before Baal, and Anzal, the slayer of the smaller selves before Baal." I'm gonna read that again. This is the 100,000 giant war as described by both two people. Anak, Anak, as in Anakim, the keeper of the bodies before Baal, and Anzal, the slayer of the smaller selves before Baal. So there's two giant stories somewhere around here that say the same thing. That there was 100,000 giant war, and Anak, one of the sons of Anak, or the father of the Anakim, dictates that this happened, or wrote down, recorded that this happened. And then Anzal, the unaliver of the smaller selves. Who are the smaller selves? Us. The humans. The humans. Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. I will grind your bones into meal, and blah, 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 blah. So all that we taught that were nursery rhymes was a real thing that really happened at some point in time. We got that right. And we just looked up where the sons of Anak were, which was in Joshua and also in Numbers. And they're mentioned a few other places in the Bible and other biblical books, right? We know this. Dating back to Scotland and Germany. Okay, here we go. It says, now the uncircumcised Rephaim came to join forces with King Og. Who remembers me talking about the wars of the Israelites being so important, the wars of the Jews? And that's why that's in Josephus in a whole section to its own. Hold on, you said what now? The Og mother was one of Adam's daughters. Of course. I believe it. I believe it. He had 33 daughters. If his daughters was led astray, somebody was hunching on the angel in the 7th generation. He was still probably having daughters. That's the whole having kids with your kids thing. It ain't new. Okay? So we know that at this time, during biblical times, there were giants. What came along with the giants? What other hybrids besides human angel, what other hybrids came along with the giants? Mermaids. Angel animal. Mermaids, centaurs, half-horse, minotaur creatures. Centaurs, vampires, centaurs. Dragons, boom. That's what I was. Satyrs. Animal people, dog-head men. Cat. Yeah. Griffins. All of it, right? Right? So listen. Okay? Hear me out. Humanoids, right? Cannibals, cyclopses. Come on. Okay. So are you understanding by the 9th generation of people from Adam, there was monsters running around in the land? And you wonder why God used to be like, why are you scared? Why are you scared? When you go and you read, when God was always talking to the people why are you scared? Why are you fearful of them? I'm bigger than them. I know they bigger than you. I know their army. See, it'll say it was 20,000 Rephaim, but you didn't know that they was all the size of that dude from Game of Thrones that was smushing people with his feet. And then it was the regular humans. This is why we always see pictures like this. Those are people down there. You see, he's crouched down, and that is an army of regular men that don't even go up to his ankle. If he put his ankle down, he ain't even up to his ankle. You see that? You see it? You see how our big swords look like toothpicks to him? See how many people back there? That's one guy. Y'all see it? Their swords look like tooth. This is a 48-inch sword 36 inches of it is blade. And it looks like a toothpick to however big this dude was. Are you getting it? How in the world could something that is taller than most 7-year-olds only be a toothpick to somebody? This blade from right here at this to the tip is 3 feet. And it looked like a toothpick to you. This is another 12 inches because it's 48. 36 and 48, 36 and 12 is 48. This from here to here is another foot. And this looked like a toothpick to this dude. Y'all see how many soldiers is coming up them hills? And what you see on their heads? Horns. What was they telling us right there? Remember I told y'all they tried to tell y'all that was the Viking thing, but they was really cow people? Remember we just talked about that? Remember I told y'all? I said you better go look at the Persians and all of that. There was cow people over there in their armies. But they can put the Viking helmet on and then you think, oh, it was just Vikings. Oh, no, it was cow people. See if we can find which book that's in. Oh, girl, don't tear up that book. I just ripped this. Jesus. Girl, sometimes you just be doing stuff. Well, we gonna get to the cow people, but look exactly what we turned to the goat folks. And who is it? God of the underworld. And they got human bodies and human hands and stuff. This is Egyptian mythology. We know this. We know this well, don't we? Right? Now, I'm going to just flip back here because I just turned right to these and then we're going to look through here. But look it. Look it. An eagle-headed winged genie, a spirit, a half angel, half man being. You see it? So when I go and we go back to where we going, and it says it was injustice, first of all, some of these niggas could fly. Do y'all see the calves and the muscles on this dude? Are y'all paying attention to the detail in his muscles? That's not armor. And look at his watch. I got that same watch. He got 2 watches on, as a matter of fact. He got 2 watches on. Asher Nazir Paul the second, accompanied by a genie. (883 to 859 BC). So would that be the 8th or 9th generation from Adam? And it says that in the 7th generation, the angels came down in the days of Jared. A genie? A genie? Could that have been his angel father? What is an angel? What is an angel? Hey, great woman. What is an angel? A spiritual being, a jinn. God made these. So do we think that there are angels that have bird faces and cow faces and lion faces? Because the whole thing of heaven on creating heaven on earth came from them fallen angels. When they got kicked out of heaven and they couldn't go back, they started trying to recreate what they saw when they was at home. These are around the throne. This is the Tetramorph. So when the fallen angels decided to go into the women, they also went into the animals as well, and they tried to recreate this, but they created monsters instead. This is what God created. Here goes some of your cow people right there. And that's Inky and Lil Nim. They just ain't got their horns on. Don't that look like a dinosaur to you? And do you see the unicorn? Yeah, I see the unicorn. So my book says it was unicorns on the ark. And this is before the ark. Who went and watched really quickly? Because I'm getting somewhere. I know y'all think I'm all over the place. Did anybody go watch the version of Planet of the Apes that I asked y'all to go watch? Did y'all see the armor that the apes had on? Did y'all go run through it real quick? Ain't that they had? Ain't that they had? Ain't this the hat they had on? Is that not the hat that the... Remember I told you, I said you about to see if you paying attention. Ain't that the hat? Now, why in the world would a lion have cornrows? Tell me what lion you done seen that had cornrows. In the seventh generation from Adam, the earth was still one piece. Which means everybody was still basically in Africa. Of course, it wasn't called that at that time. Who remembers we did the study the other day that your Greek mythological gods is based on who? Babylonian kings, the Chaldeans. So when we read about the wars of the Chaldeans in the Bible, and it tells us that all of the Greek and Assyrians and Babylonian kings, when you're reading about Greek mythology, you're actually reading about the Assyrian and the Babylonian kings. In the seventh generation from Adam, in the days of Jared, when the angels came down and slept with the women, they started having wars with the Assyrian and Babylonian kings. They started to rise up to power. Nimrod and them, right? Nimrod and his mama and all of these people. Okay? Now look, if we know that Greek mythology is based on the Assyrian and Babylonian kings, and it tells us that in the seventh generation from Adam, the angels went into the women, this makes sense, don't it? And they also went into the animals. Does this make sense to you? If I know that these are based on see his horns, you see his legs. Notice something missing that happens a lot in Egypt? It's the reason they want black stars to fix their nose right now. Coming in the future, you're not even going to be a person of color. Huh? these earbuds. Oh, there we go. I turned right to it after I put it down. Lion-headed goddess with human feet and human hands. So tell me what the injustices were. As soon as the angels came down and did this, these people were the leaders of the humans. That was not an elaborate hairdress. These were real beings. They are idols, my dear. Right. They started to be worshipped, but they were people. They were actual living beings. And that's why God gets mad when you pay homage to them. Mm-hmm. Yes, okay, my dear. Look those guys up. Anyway, moving on. Going back to what I was saying, we're going to read about this Og man real quick, and then we're going to get back to the injustices that are over where we was at. Here we go. It says, now the uncircumcised Rephaim came to join forces with Og, arriving from the hot and cold lands of elsewhere. And all the dispersed uncircumcised Rephaim from the four corners of the world they came. When the uncircumcised Rephaim had arrived, King Og anointed his hair and beard with oil. He stood before 100,000 of them, all in the high place of Baal or Baal of the earth, looking over his warriors and kingdom. He spoke with a loud voice, saying, thrust your sickle and reap. For the time is come for you to reap. For the harvest of the earth is ripe for Baal of the earth, and for the loss of the moon child we go to war. He said his voice was strong, and at the harpists and the musicians and his voice was as strong as that of the harpists, musicians, pipers, and trumpeters. Baal of the moon then spoke through King Og's smaller selves, sorceresses. You mean the witches that the Bible talked about? You mean the wives of the angels that were taught magic? Before they cracked their back, before they elevated them, they taught them magic. And then they became the sorceresses and the high priestess of the coveted information or the occult information. This is in the days of Og. You see it. Baal of the moon then spoke through King Og's smaller self-sorceresses. They spoke to Ogeus or Augeus. Orneus, we know Orneus is a real demon because he's mentioned in the book of Solomon, and the crazy thing is he used to be a giant. And I've told y'all that the evil spirits that we deal with today are the spirits of these beings. The sons of the Anunnaki, the Nephilim, the Zamzumins, because they thought because their moms were angels, their dads thought that, oh, even though we fell and had these kids because they have a half of a human soul, then they gonna get to go. And God was like, hey, joke's on y'all. Nah, they gonna be down there with you. None of y'all getting in here. They are the disembodied spirits of our earth. And so we can read about Orneus as a person, and then we can also read about Orneus as a demon later on in the flip. Now, what's crazy is Anzal is the end of a lot of medicine, ain't it? or the beginning of the name of a lot of medicine. Anzal is in a lot of stuff, right? Am I wrong? A lot of medicine either ends or begins with Anzal. Anzalothafine or whatever, I don't know. And they might put an A in it to change it a little bit, but same thing. Now, why, again, would they name our medicine after a demon? I don't know. Maybe because pharmacy means magic, incantations, and spells. Maybe, just maybe. That's what it means. Magic, medicine. So maybe that's why they do it. Let's go. It says, take 50 giants, one from each army, and command each one of the 50 to carry a stone as large as he can upon his shoulders, and lay them at the entrance to the fields of battle. This is where your army will sleep for the night. I'm sorry. Ugh. This is where your army will sleep for the night before battle tomorrow. Now, how many times has our scientists went around the world and they found big, large stones just out in the middle of nowhere and they don't know why? Well, a lot of people know soldiers sleep in a circle like that. A lot of different, when they sleep around a campfire, right? So it's like, if you were to draw a circle, it's like the numbers on the clock going out, right? That way they ready from all angles. If the enemy comes up, they can all hop up and their backs are to each other. They don't got to worry about nobody behind them because they know it's only circle the wagons. Is that what it's called? I don't know. And in all of these places they go and they find these monolithic structures in these stone circles because it was maybe a giant battle there at one point in time. And the giants are the children of the angels, and they pray to evil spirits and to their fathers to get power to go fight these battles. They had witchcraft and magic, enchanting their weapons. The regular humans had to go up against these people. The injustice was that not only was their father's angels, some of them had the strength of animals, like an ox, or the swiftness of a horse, or the wings of a bird. So when Israel was going up to fight these people, they was not just fighting regular people. Not only was they massive, not only were their mothers and fathers witches and warlocks, so they were giving them amulets that would stop them from being unalived. They also had the ability to change their appearance, strong as an ox, swift as a gazelle. And every time that I go back in this history, I see when humans, or when the ops on the other side kept seeing or thinking that humans were at a disadvantage. $50 years of Jubilee was one of the first measures of counting. 50, we in Jubilees. Right? And in a year celebration too. So, well, I don't know. It could be a number of things as to why God does it. Now, the reason we going back through this, we talking about this injustice, we talking about disadvantage, is because from the beginning, the devil thought that he had a disadvantage. Him and his brothers. So God allowed them to do all that they was going to do. And then he used somebody that was smaller, wasn't using magic, to tear their tails back every time. God said, if I just send out men as big as you, it's not going to be as glorious for me. But if I send somebody with a rock to bust a giant in his head and with one blow he goes down, well, then that makes me look super amazing. I think I'll do it. How many situations have you been in and you was at a disadvantage because the people were bigger, stronger? It was just not a fair fight, nowhere near, and God let you come through and just... God could have stopped the angels from mating with the women and making these monsters, these genetically modified folks that had supernatural abilities, not only because their daddies were angels, but because their mothers were doing magic over their hats and their batons and their swords. They were enchanting things so that the normal thing that would have happened wouldn't happen. But God said, I needed y'all to do all that. So when I come through and use this little bit to astound people, they will know that I'm God. You said, I'm tripping on this genealogy. I'm trying to tell you. So when you're reading about the superheroes, they were the Assyrian and Babylonian kings. And the Assyrians and all those people came out of who? Abraham, Moses, all of these folks. Because it says the Assyrians, the Babylonians, and I can't think of the other folks. They all came out of Abraham. Huh? 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 The Assyrians and Babylonians was giants. Jacob wrestled with an angel, didn't he? You hear me? Was it Jacob? How did he get that ability? How was they just slaying these giants? One, God needed you to be at a disadvantage, but he needed you to see life regular for a reason. And then something comes up that's bigger than you, that could potentially crush everything that you have going on. And God says, do you think I'm bigger? Do you think I can take him? That situation has been genetically modified to be your opponent. GMO. That situation is genetically modified to either break you or make you stronger. Just like the giants were genetically modified to come on through and crush out what God made. And God said, I only need a little bit. And watch what I do with a little. Yes, it seems like you're the only one to be going through it. You not, but that was genetically modified for you. David could have went up against any other one, but you know who had God had, I mean, he went up against others. But the one that he was going to be world renowned for was, and he took a rock, not a boulder, a rock. Goliath was genetically modified. He was bigger. He was stronger. He was probably swifter. God said, I ain't going to even put you right where he at. And then I'm going to let you take his sword and do your Red Queen stuff. God does not get the glory if it's not a situation that is not modified for you. So this is why when you be trying to walk in other people's steps, you not getting the challenges that you need so that God can show you who he is in your life, because you trying to live somebody else's walk. If you keep losing the battle, you might be fighting a fight that ain't yours. It wouldn't modify for you. Because when you go fight where God tell you to fight, if you being obedient, guess what? You're going to be a winner every time. He said, I've already won the battle for you. All you got to do is show up. It's supposed to be too big. It's supposed to look like it ain't going to work. It's supposed to look like you outnumbered. It's supposed to look like you down and out. It's supposed to look like the enemy got the ups on you. It's supposed to look like that. Just like the justice that started in the after 7 complete generations. The angel said, yeah, we about to come down here and rule over. We're better. We're going to do this. We're gods. We're going to make gods. We're going to make the humans worship us. God said, oh, yeah? Make whatever you need to. I'm going to use the least of all that you have to show you how big I am. It's not always in how much you got. It's not always in who sees what you're doing. Sometimes you keep telling the enemy God's plans, because you talking about how big and how and what, and God said, I need you to shrink so that I can expand. Because this really ain't about you. Folks be in here mad. Why is you keep trying to get in my live and then you do a restriction? Folks, is weird. I don't know what be wrong with people. You hear me? Arms not big enough to box with God. Come on. I don't know who this person is, but let's do this. Because why do you keep trying to come in my live, weirdo? Go away. It's about time. You said, ooh, I just fainted. Listen here. This is the thing. Okay? So we're going to get back to this. Because I want you to understand that he said, when you weak, I'm strong. So why is you tripping? If you can't do it, I can. So why is you doubting me? But now you understand the beings that Israel was having to go against. You're understanding that the Philistines and the Anunnaki and all the Zamzumans and all, they was not regular. They was genetically modified. Do you hear me? Hate to say it, but ain't nothing changed. Because Israel is big, and everybody that's going against Israel got this much land mass and this many peoples in it. Y'all saw how big Israel was. We looked at it yesterday. Let's do it again. This is all of Africa. And this is Israel. This little bitty sliver right there. So you got all these people. Israel right here in this little bitty chunk right there. That little bitty piece. This at the size of a peanut. Okay? Do you see how big all these other countries is? This Israel right here in this little bitty, this wide as this little river. It's just that. That's Israel, right? Not all of this, not all of that, just this. This little triangle part right there. So you got all these people with all this land going. Why? With all the rest of this everywhere, this is only half of it. You see the rest? Do you see the rest? Look, this is... This ain't even on us. Y'all got all this. Y'all got all this. Y'all got all of this. Y'all got all of this. And y'all want this little bitty piece right here. Y'all want this little bitty piece right here. Why is y'all messing with these people? Why? Of all of this land. Y'all realize North America ain't even on that side? Y'all realize that ain't even... Look at all of this land mass. And everybody is worried. But that's what they said in the Bible. With all of the land mass that you see, and you only want that part that ain't even as big as a peanut, for what? There's a lot of people that's not about to like what I'm going to say. Whether those people that are over there are the originals or not, that land is blessed. Okay? And y'all seen it, the vegetables they grow over there go 3 times. So they avocados grow the size of our honeydew melons. For every 1 ear of corn that we get on the corn cob, they get 3. On the corn stalk, they get 3. They like plums is like the size of our grapefruits. The good size kind. So with all of that land and all of the beautiful this and that you can see in every other place, everybody still want that little piece? Or everybody want to come against that little bitty piece of land? The same folks that was going against them back then, that had the advantage, the land mass, the manpower, the technology, the witches and spells doing incantations, guess what? It's still happening right now. Nothing has changed. So when we're reading about Og going against Nimrod, or Og going against Abraham or Moses, or whoever it is that they was going against, we know what they was fighting over, because they still fighting over the Holy Land right now. And it is the bigger, more powerful armies that are always going against who? Whether those people that are in there are the people or not, they going against the Holy Land. So has anything changed? Because when you go and you start reading in Kings, and they start talking about the wars of the Jews in the Bible and all of that, and who they was going up against, and they was going up against 200,000 men, and they was scared, and they slew them. Now you understand why that's a bigger feat if everybody that's at the war, besides you and your homeboys, is what I do with it? Don't you think that this would make God see? They hid this part. But them is people back there. And this is a human-sized man right there. That's a regular human-sized man. And his sword, it looked like a toothpick to this man. He could pick that sword up and pick his teeth with it. And he ain't even standing all the way up. So when I go and I read that they went against the giants, For 6-foot men to slay 200,000 of these guys, you don't think that's a big feat? You don't think that's something to sing about? When it said that David was going up against these people, and then we go and we look up who these people were, and they were this big, or 50 feet tall, or 100 feet tall, and they slew 250,000 of them, or whatever it was, and they was only up to their ankles. You don't think that's something to sing about? Because there was over 200 races of giants in the Bible that are listed, and if you study, you'll know who was who, because they people look like these folks. They got these wings on and stuff. They look like minotaurs and centaurs and cyclopses and snake-faced people, and the beings that they were riding were half human and half lion and whatnot. You wouldn't be nervous? The reason I'm reading this is because we know Og lived in the time before the flood. And you think about all of the people that lived in the time before the flood. And then these are the beings that they had to deal with. The monsters that we just looked at that was ruling over Egypt and all of this stuff. That they just tell you that they're just statues that they just made up. No. And these people were genetically modified to rule over regular humans. That was the injustice. They had the strength. They had the ability. They had the magic. Their dads were angels who were trapped down here as the gods, but God separated them from their children so they could, you know the Percy Jackson story. You read it. You seen it. So understand that in the days of Noah, just like it says it's going to be right now, there's genetically modified people. There are genetically modified situations, genetically modified food. Okay? I don't know. I'm not. What does it matter? I have several maps. That's one off Amazon. I couldn't even tell you. I don't know. It's decoration. Okay? So there's genetically modified food. There's genetically modified situations that are they're there to take you out, y'all. That those situations are there to make you feel like ain't no way in heck I can do this. But that's where God gets his glory from, when he come in and make that situation bow down to you or work in your advantage. Do you understand? So just like in the days of Noah, we getting ready to see some of this stuff. It's going to be some genetically modified people. Have you ever heard of a super soldier? It said people across the waters was making super soldiers. How was they doing that? One of our presidents, and we don't have to say, one of their wives was looking for the body of a certain Nimrod, and Nimrod is in this giant war with Og. That's a matter of fact, that's who he's going against. Was Nimrod. Mm-hmm. After Nimrod's mandated circumcision, the 7-year famine began. The 7-year famine? You mean the one with Joseph? What other 7-year famine you know about? That's mentioned in the Bible. It's other famines, but it didn't give a specific number on how many years. Okay. So now listen. It says after Nimrod's mandated circumcision, the 7-year famine began. Okay. So Joseph was alive at this time. The dragon siblings with white hair and blue eyes that entered the 100,000 giant war from the east. The dragon siblings that told of a wealthy city in the sky. The dragon siblings who worship gods we do not know. The dragon siblings who were protected by the bright ones. The dragon siblings who joining army added 20,000 Rephaim to the battle. The kingdom of Og hired the dragon siblings. So you mean that Game of Thrones was going on at the time when Joseph was alive? That's what you just said to me? The Targaryens. Because the Targaryens were alive when Og was alive. They actually came to help him fight in this war. And then it says that the day that they decided to go to war and Og was talking to all the people was the day that the 7-year famine started. Bel and the Dragon. In Game of Thrones, wasn't they using people? And they would put them down in a cave and a dragon would come out and burn them? We got the word dinosaur when? When did it become a word? Dinosaur. Are we frozen? Early 19th century. Thank you, Sarah. So prior to that, 1842. Okay. So prior to that, it was dragon. So prior to that, it was dragon. In the Bible, it says dragons. It talks about dragons. And they say they was just using that to describe, Lucifer. But now that we know that Og was alive when the 7-year famine started, and we know that the dragon siblings came to the 1,000 Giant War with him. We know that the Anakim are real, okay? And we know that there were cyclopses and centaurs because the angels not only went into the women, they went into the angels. This is what we see in Narnia. The war that we see in Game of Thrones, it was the War of the Seven Kingdoms. The Chinese calendar has all real animals except for the dragons. Okay. Are y'all understanding that when Israel was going to fight with those people, what we saw in Game of Thrones was happening before the flood? This is why all of the super large snakes and stuff that we see now and all the movies that are coming up out of the ground that they thought were only mythical, they were fighting against people that had these beings with them. Dragons been real. A dinosaur ain't nothing but a dragon. It's a giant lizard. And when the angels came down and slept with the women, they created giant humans and then giant other beings as well. That's why the Minotaur and the Centaurs are so much bigger than regular humans. You seen not Harry Potter. Well, Harry Potter too. They put it on TV and act like it wasn't real back in the day and right now. I don't know what Orochi is. What is that? They called them the old gods of the seven heavens. Hagrid! Yes, Hagrid. With his big old self. He's one of my favorite people in the movie. So now when you see Genesis 6, mermaids are real too. Mermaids are mentioned in your Bible. Dagon. From Diagon Alley in Harry Potter. Where does Harry have to go get his magic wands from? He goes to Diagon Alley or Diagon Alley. Dagon was the god of the Philistines and he was a fish dude. All right. And he's mentioned in the Bible. And he's connected with magic. Orochi, another name for snakes. Oh, I did not know. Hagrid mentions the Bible. Hagrid mentioned in the Bible. They spelled it different. I believe it. Let's see. Okay. Oh, okay. All right, so let's do this. I just want to show folks that might think we crazy. So, right here. Oh, I turned it back. Frick. Guess it was right the first time. See right here? We read in Genesis 6. And see right here? It said, when human beings began to increase in number on earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married all that they chose, and blah, 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 blah. Right here, right under that, this is their sons. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterward. When the sons of God, these sons of God, went into the daughters of humans and made children by them. They were the heroes of old and the mighty men of renown. Mm. 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 And this was in Genesis. Hercules and all of the like. Mm-hmm. Okay. But now that we know that our Greek mythology is built on the Assyrian and Babylonian kings or the ancient kings of Mesopotamia, it all makes sense. So then if it says that the Nephilim were on the battlefield and the Rephaim were on the battlefield, if you go look at sons of Rapha in the Bible, that's who they came out of. And we know that They was running with all the different types of giants. It talks about how many giants they brought with them, 500, 500. This guy brought 500 giants with him. Some of these giant names are actually in a lot of your books, but it was amazing to me to find out that the Game of Thrones stuff was not original. They got it from this. They're still called the heroes in movies now. Exactly. See? The sons of Anak. You see that? Anak then spoke to the army of 100,000 and said, 100,000 who? 100,000 giants. And this is why I said, see, Rephaim, the sons of Rapha, when you go and if you understand who is who, and Typhus, like typhoon or typhon, that's where we get the word typhoon from. And they were seafaring folks. Right. Thank you for explaining Genesis for me. I've always told people to pass over Genesis. Oh, please don't. It's the most important book for real, for real. If you do it right. See, when you go in and you start studying who the Israelites and who became who, see, people like, oh, beget, beget, beget. No, look those names up. Because they led me to all of this mythology. Listen. I'm trying to tell y'all, and I do this all the time. My old folks like, she got to do it. Y'all know I got to do it. We got to do it for the newbies. Boom. Norse mythology, tales of gods, sagas, and what's that word? Heroes. We know that the angels wanted their kids to be worshipped as gods, and they wanted to be worshipped as gods. Right here, here it is. Now I'm about to show you something we just read in the Bible, right here, where it says that the Nephilim, the giant builders, the giant builders, the giant builders, the giant builders. You mean all the people that made our monolithic structures? I get it, but guess who else was over here with Thor and them? The Nephilim. You see it? The Nephal, the Nephilim, these same Nephilim. You see? Nephilim. The Nephil, the Nephilim, the 9 words. You see it? The Nephilim, the Nephal. You see it? This is Thor and them. And Erd is actually from the Bible. You see that? The Nephilim. Right there. The Nephil. We just read about them. The Nephil. And Erd is actually from like of the Chaldeans, which makes sense as to why this is the mythological gods, because the mythological gods lived in and the surrounding cities. So it doesn't surprise me that in Norse mythology, the tales of the gods and the heroes, that they were in a place that sounds familiar where they were created, which was Baal worship was Nimrod and his mama getting together. They created Baal worship. Nimrod lived in As a matter of fact, he started those cities, and all the others. And the Nephilim, which is who we just was reading about. Nimrod was a Nephilim, and Og was a Rephaim. These are 2 different races of giants, and there was over 200. And then there was 100,000 giant world where all of the giants started to fight against each other. Well, if you go read it, Enoch, it tells you that once so many giants was destroying the earth and it was just blood and stuff, God told Michael and them, go warn Noah and then come back over here and make the kids of the angels fight against each other. These is the Titan Wars and stuff. And their fathers could do nothing. The demigods just had to fight against each other, them and their generations with them. So you say you don't like the Bible, but you read and follow Loki in the story. You're just reading the Bible, literally. Because the captivating guide to Eridu, Uruk, that's Iraq, Iraq. Akkad, Asher, Lagash, Babylon, Nippur, Nimrud, and Nineveh. These are all most cities that Nimrod himself started. So when you look at Erd in Greek mythology, it's actually from ancient Mesopotamia. That's what. So you don't have to read the Bible, but you watch it and follow it and love it when you study Greek mythology or any type Norse mythology, all of it. It's okay. Because the Nephilim from Erd in here are the Nephilim from in the Bible. I hope you knew. So you might want to stop saying you don't believe in the Bible, because actually you do. Actually you do. The cold giants, the ice giants, the ones from the cold lands that we just read about in Og. Oh. The genetically modified people that were there to obliterate the humans. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the Norse giants. It was just Abraham, them kids, and all of them that got up there, and the angels tap danced on their daughters' wombs too. He said, I'm gonna start saying that to my co-workers. Godzilla is a giant lizard, genetically modified, chemically modified. They're chemically modifying our children right now. That's what hormones are. Chemical modification. That's what it is. Chemical change. Literally. Nothing has changed. There's genetically modified people right now walking around. And the jab. Yep, that too. Oh. Yep. So, you guys can get back to the same things, which is where we was going. We done been all over the place right now. Well, let's just do it. We just gonna finish this. It says, and injustice increased upon the earth, and all flesh corrupted its way. Man and cattle and beast and birds and everything which walks on the earth. I'm going to read that again. And when the children of men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the angels of the Lord saw in a certain year of that jubilee, that they were good to look at. And they took wives from themselves, from all whom they chose, and they bore children for them, and they were giants. They were the giants. And injustice increased upon the earth, and all flesh corrupted its way. Man and cattle and beast and birds and everything which walks on the earth. And they all corrupted their way and their ordinances, and they began to eat one another. And injustice grew upon the earth, and every imagination of the thoughts of all mankind was thus continually evil. Now, do y'all want to know what happened to the offspring? We're just going to read it real quick, and then I'm going to go eat. Look at this. It says, and the Lord saw the earth, and behold, it was corrupted, and all the flesh had corrupted its order. And all who were on the earth had done every sort of evil in his sight. And he said, I will wipe out man and all flesh which I have created from upon the surface of the earth. But Noah alone found favor in the sight of the Lord. And against his angels whom he had sent to earth, he was very angry. He commanded that they be uprooted from all their dominion. And he told us to bind them in the depths of the earth. And behold, they are bound in the midst of them, and they are isolated. And against their children a word went forth from before his presence, so that he might smite them with the sword and remove them from under heaven. And he said, my spirit will not dwell with man forever, for they are flesh, and their days will be 110 years. And he sent a sword among them, so that each one might unalive his fellow, and they began to unalive one another until they fell on the sword and were wiped out from the earth. Isn't that the Titan War? Ain't that what happened in Percy Jackson? The guys started to fight against each other until it was only a few of them left. No? Mm-hmm. That was a judgment. The Titan War was a judgment. Mm. Titan War was judgment. Hey. Titan War was judgment. But you have seen it before because the same thing happened at the Tower of Babel too. Remember when they thought they was going to fight against God, he made them fight each other. They was unaliving each other then. Mm-hmm. Same thing. Mm-hmm. Yes. That is book 2, page 64. And then right after that talks about the flood. I'm going to just read. If you got the book. Oh, yes. You're welcome. Just cute. Stay around. For the newbies, we got 900 videos on YouTube. So we do a lot of this. And I'm just running it back because it's like our 2-year anniversary of the giant video. So a lot of people forgot why they came over here. And some people are new and so they get to hear it. But we do have over 900 videos on YouTube. And we have plenty of classes where we don't just talk about the giants. We talk about everything. Life. Everything. It's good learning over there. Same as same name on YouTube, CERCA TROVA 22. You got to look under the live tab, though. That's where they at. People like, I didn't see them. You didn't look under the live tab, please. So look right here. I'm going to just read this and then I'm going to go find me some food. It says, and the Lord said, let everything which is upon dry land be blotted out. Men and cattle and beasts and birds of the heaven and whatever moves on the earth. I'm going to read that again. And the Lord said, let everything which is upon dry land be blotted out. Men and cattle and beasts and birds of the heaven and whatever moves on the earth. Did he say anything about everything in the water being unalived? The stuff that live in the water? Now, maybe a lot of it did die because the water was hot. Okay, we're going to go. All right. And he commanded Noah to make and he commanded Noah to make an ark for himself so that he might save himself from the water of the flood. And Noah made an ark in all respects, just as he commanded him in the 22nd Jubilee. How many years is the 22nd Jubilee? It's 1100? In 1100 years? You did the math already, Sarah? I love y'all. So it had been 1,100 years. 1,100 years. So it had barely made it over 1,100 years. Right. Since whatever God said was going to happen. I don't know if it was 1,100 years since Adam or if it was 1,100 years since, what book are we reading? This one. And it has a twin sister, and it's just in my room, book 1. It has all your books of the Bible that is missing. They in here. All right, here we go. Let's go. In the 22nd, in the 5th week of the 5th year. And he entered in it in the 6th year, in the 2nd month of the 1st of the 2nd month until the 16th day. Wait a minute. And he entered in it in the 6th year, in the 2nd month, on the 1st of the 2nd month until the 16th day. And he and everything which he brought to him. What? And he and everything which we brought to him entered the ark. Who is we? Who is we? Michael and them. The angels. The angels. People are like, well, how did the animals get over there? Well, how did this happen? Well, God still had billions and billions of angels back then. I mean, they wasn't. Okay. And the Lord shut it up from the outside on the evening of the 17th. On the 17th of the month, the doors was closed. That's funny because it's about the 17th of the month when apartments will file an eviction on you. They'll give you to the 10th and then they give you 7 days from that day for like the 17th, and then they be trying to close the door on you. So maybe nothing ain't changed. That's about the time you got to be getting ready to go to court, about the 17th to the 21st. Maybe none of y'all never had no situations like that. It's fine. You said, It's the real thing. I already know I've been evicted before. Listen here. They don't want to talk about it. It's a real thing. Be about the 17th when you know if you gonna need to start packing up. You said, I know this life. You said, I'm from Chicago. I know this life for real, for real. Listen here. About the 17th, you know if you need to start packing or you might be able to chill another month. You know what I'm saying? I got to see if these people gonna work with me, because by the 15th, they didn't put something on your door. So by the 17th, you know if you need to be calling your homeboys to help you go move your stuff. You said they give you to the 15th to pay off debt. Right. And about the 17th is when they going to start trying to shut the doors on you. So ain't nothing changed. Listen here. Moving my new place in on the 18th. You about right. You funny and will. Between the 18th and the 21st. You said where I am. It's the next day. Listen here. Listen here. We all gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it for real. If you know, you know. Some folks too good for that kind of like, move it on. Moving on. It says, and the Lord opened the 7 floodgates of heaven, and the mouths of the springs of the great deep were 7 miles in number. How many continents we got? Oh wow, that's crazy, Tom. We got 7 continents. So there are 7 gates above and 7 gates below. 7 gates of water up and 7 gates of water down. Geysers. There is 7 massive geysers under the earth's core or whatever. And at whatever time that the earth flooded, God let them open up and water start shooting up out the ground, and then it started coming down from heaven too. Didn't we hear and didn't we read that there is a sea above us and a sea below us, or ocean or whatever? What is America floating on top of? Ain't we just a big island? Ain't all of our pieces just big islands? Because they used to all be one piece, and now we all surrounded by water. Africa surrounded by water. Europe surrounded by water. And we got 7 continents. So God let the 7 pools in the earth, the 7 geysers open up, and it broke all our land masses into pieces. No, baby, I'm talking about the land masses that we're on. It's 7 of them. And if there were 7 geysers that came up and broke the ground apart with that water shooting up, then that's why we got these 7 continents. And the little pieces that broke off became the islands. You ever broke a rock? You don't break evenly. There'll be little bitty shards that might be here. It might be a chunk this big, a chunk this big. King Triton had 7 daughters. And did. The queens of the ocean. How many kingdoms was in Game of Thrones? What, the war of the what? Seven. Even in Game of Thrones, it was 7 kingdoms. Yeah. It was the War of the 7 Kingdoms. And the dragon siblings with white hair and blue eyes that lived up there in the mountains, that's listed right here in this King Og book, that they fought with King Og, that's in the Bible, Og of Bashan, in Genesis. And this why they tell y'all don't be reading about these folks and stuff, because they be in these books and stuff. And then you would know that the 7 hills are wrong. Yep. All of it. All of it. So for those of you that didn't watch Game of Thrones, do I get all of these books from Amazon? Not all of them, but a lot of them I do. Half Price Bookstore, the Goodwill, and used bookstores. Online and in person. Oh, yeah. I got to stretch. Okay, here we go. I just want to do this. It says, and the Lord opened the 7 floodgates of heaven, and the mouths of the springs of the great deep were 7 mouths in number. And these floodgates sent down water from heaven for 40 days and 40 nights. And the springs of the deep sent up water until the whole world was full of water. Excuse me. And the water increased upon the earth, and 15 cubits the water rose over every tall mountain. And the ark rose up from the earth, and it moved upon the surface of the earth. And all that water stayed upon the surface of the earth 5 months, 150 days. And the ark went and rested on the top of Lubar, one of the mountains of Ararat. And in the 4th month, the springs of the great deep were closed, and the floodgates of heaven were held shut. And on the new moon of the 7th month, all of the mouths of the deep of the earth were opened, and the water began to go down into the depths below, so the drain. And on the 1st of the 10th month, the heads of the mountains appeared. And on the 1st of the 1st month, the land appeared. And the water dried up from upon the earth in the 5th week, in its 7th year. And on the 17th day, in the 2nd month, the land was dry. And on its 27th day, he opened the ark and sent out of it beasts and cattle and birds and whatsoever moved. So this is the thing, right? All flesh had corrupted itself. Everybody was doing whatever the hell they wanted to. They was becoming their own gods. There was genetically modified people and situations to beat down the regular folks or the folks that wasn't doing no magic and they was just trying to live and do what God told them to do. It is very detailed. And so then when the Bible says there's nothing, do what thou will, right? They was doing all that stuff. See, and I thought it happened in the 40 days. I didn't know it was months before they got out. Yeah, think about Katrina. All you gotta do is think about places like Katrina. How long was New Orleans flooded after Katrina? How long did it take for that water to go all the way down and then to clean up? You got to think it was nowhere near the water that it was to flood the world. So, how long did that water stay? And then if the water is bad and all of that, and you got to think about how many dead animals and birds and whatever else. Maria in Puerto Rico, right. There's places in Haiti that still haven't recovered from hurricanes and different things like that as well, right? Had to wait for the water to go down. Right. You said I'm reading it for myself and I'm almost done and I'm just mind blown. Right. They hid a lot from us, didn't they? And they had to stay in 23 days to get out. Yep. Mm-hmm. Even after the water was gone, because the ground was probably still soggy. Think about all that water, mush. They still haven't found my great aunt and great uncle's bodies after Hurricane Katrina. Yeah. And so you could easily see how mud flood giants can happen. And they just start over on top of everybody. If they don't find them, they just rebuild on top of everybody. Which is exactly what they did. This is why every time we see something about the giants, they down in a cave somewhere. Under the ground. Under the society that we know. Just like in Troll, that happened too. Tsunamis and all of that. Yeah. You covered in the mud and you perish there and they don't find your body, then in 100 years, this is what we have. 2,000 years is what we got. Yeah. You wonder how everyone and thing ate on the boat the same way that they do in a submarine. I don't know if we got anybody that ever worked on a submarine, but they could be out to sea for 6-7 months, can't they? A year underwater without docking and all of that, don't they? Because they got underwater fueling stations and stuff like that, don't they? Or am I wrong? So that the enemy don't know they around and stuff, right? That water was in New Orleans for about a month and a half and we couldn't get to anything. Right? How long sailors be out to sea? Unless you going to the Titanic. Well, right. Right. 9 months to a year. They have nuclear, so now they can stay longer under sea. Wow. See? Mm-hmm. Yep. So, you got to think. They already be talking about the Atlanteans. The Atlanteans was alive when Noah and them was alive. When the giants, they were the giants. I know y'all seen it. I just watched it. Y'all seen all of the if you watched Aquaman, if you saw when they went down in there and they saw basically Hades' kingdom, the seventh kingdom, the lost kingdom, the seventh kingdom. If you look at that, it looks just like Petra. Go look at the city of Petra and how that's that exact same thing. It's like they just threw it in there. It was ancient Mesopotamia is what you was looking at. There was underwater when the Atlanteans was, and then the flood happened. We just read about it. That's another reason why we're reading about that, because I was hoping y'all picked up on that. And they had magical abilities. Remember, we read that the two brothers, Ohio and Mahia, flew a cosmic journey to go see Enoch. Who remembers we read that? They flew a cosmic journey. Now, if you went and watched 30 Coins when old crazy dude got ready to find that machine, it was all the ancient Mesopotamian gods that was on all the symbols and stuff. Y'all remember? And if the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun, then y'all know everything that happened in that movie already happened before. Thank you. They had watches on both arms. We just seen old boy, yeah, watches on both arms. They had time travel. They had nuclear science. They had that. They called it antimony back then. Y'all seen it if you watched the movie Noah. Remember when they was hitting them sticks and they was letting off bombs and stuff? That was nuclear science. The angels taught all of that. New stubs are hydrogen powered by water. Oh, okay. I didn't know. It's on 30 Coins. Yes. Yep. Yep. The Tartarian buildings, they are the Tartarian. Mm-hmm. So what y'all about to go watch? Because I know y'all about to find a movie. Some of y'all about to go watch Game of Thrones. Who else got something else they want to go back and watch? Conan the Barbarian. Y'all remember that we heard that Abraham and Keturah's granddaughter that married Hercules. It says that the barbarians came out of him. Sophon. The Sophacians. Right? Conan the Barbarian. The Berbers. Never watched Game of Thrones. Okay, you can't watch it around the kids. Some parts is not okay for them. You're going to have to fast forward. Yep, you watch it in Clash of the Titans, Hercules. What y'all got? I'm going to watch these eyelids. Yeah, me too. You about to finish watching Troll. Good job. Second X-Men. Good job, Sarah. Yeah, we've been having like movie. Because this is the thing. We've read a lot in the last 2 years. And so now I be wanting to see it when y'all go and y'all watch these shows. Because we were going back and watching it, a lot of stuff that we already watched. But now when you watch it, it's different, right? You watched Constantine last night? Okay. Hey. Yeah. 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 You watched 300 recently? Ain't it a trip how they've been telling us the truth? Of course, that they tweak it for TV, but overall, if you know what you're looking for, you'd be like, really? And they tell you not to believe in God, but then they sell you all of the stories. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Well, I love y'all. Now y'all got some movie homework. All of it. Sandman, all of it. War of the Worlds, yep. Jason and the Argonauts, yep. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, you gotta look. I have no idea. One of them, what's the names? Y'all been in sleep mode, Supernatural, all of them, yep. Troy, Helen and Troy, yep. House of Dragons, yep. All of them. The Land Before Time. Journey Through the Center of the Earth, which we have. Even why can't I think of that? Arthur and the King Arthur. Remember we looked up, I think King Arthur was living around the time that David was living or something like that. Yep, the Odyssey. I think King Arthur. Well, I don't think that they're atheists, actually. I think they just don't know that they're reading the Bible. So they call themselves atheists, but they go, Pan's Labyrinth is real good. Yep. I absolutely love that one. I'm about to go find me some food, y'all. I don't know what I want to eat, but I'm going to eat something. Probably a bacon sandwich with some avocado on it. I could make avocado toast, but I think I just want bacon with lettuce and I don't know why bacon and bread make me real happy. I'm trying to tell you, they do it with some onions, just slice, no pork. For you, James Jeter, eat whatever you like. I'm gonna smash me some bacon every time. And I don't want no fake bacon either. Mm-mm. Yeah. God say it ain't what the value that you put in your body is what come out of it. Girl, with some mayo and not Miracle Whip. Mayo. And with some salt. Woo! Yeah. I'm about to go put that in the oven right now. Don't even worry about it. Which half of the Bible says no? The first half. But y'all forget about the second half where it say if you go into a person's house when Jesus and them was sitting in there and they said even if you don't eat it, you don't offend nobody, you just go on and do it because it don't matter what you putting in your body. It's what come out that defiles you, like your evil thoughts and judgmental attitudes. Because everything in this fleshly suit is, guess what? It's going back to the dirt. And the worms is gonna have it anyway. So y'all can try to keep it from the worms, but it's worms in there even when you think you done got every parasite out because the same worms that live in the dirt live in you because you dirt. Now what ain't dirt is that spirit that actually came from God, and he be more worried about that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So and I will eat all of it. But listen here. Have a good day, y'all. I'm about to go find me some food with some bacon in it. The real kind. Not no vegetable bacon, not no turkey bacon, not no beef bacon, only pork bacon.